Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to call the meeting of the Community Redevelopment Agency, Delray Beach CRA, to order.
Chair Burns.
Here.
Vice Chair Markert.
Here.
Deputy Vice Chair Casal.
Here.
Commissioner Carney.
Present.
And Commissioner Long.
Had to be different.
Did we? He's not. We don't have him on call either.
No,
Okay. Okay. Can I get a motion for approval of the agenda?
I move that we approve the agenda.
Second.
Vice Chair Markert.
Yes.
Deputy Vice Chair Casal.
Yes.
Commissioner Carney.
Yes.
Commissioner Long. And Chair Burns.
Yes. Okay. We have a presentation by Ms. Rhonda Ginger.
Geiger.
No, Geiger, of Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics. Sorry.
It's all right.
wrong
Hello,
glasses
everybody.
today.
No problem at all. Rhonda Geiger, Palm Beach County Commission on Ethics. Calling it a presentation is way too generous. I'm really just here to say hi and remind everybody that I'm here. Here to answer questions, here to write advisory opinions if necessary. I can get them out really quick. Hello, Mayor Carney.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. I can get those out fast, can't I?
Yes, absolutely. Appreciate it.
No problem at all. And also, you know, we've been around 15 years now. We have jurisdiction over every city, town in the county, as well as the entire staff of Palm Beach County itself, as well as many other boards within those municipalities. So we're really proud of that. We're really proud of our responsiveness to people. We're happy to say that our focus now is answering questions as opposed to investigating, which obviously we will investigate, but we would prefer to be there to help everybody out before anything goes wrong. I brought the new guides, but I only gave them to a couple of you because I think most of you have them. So if you didn't get the new pocket ethics guides, they're available. I left enough. But other than that, it's mainly just to remind everybody that we're here if you need us, and we're here for trainings if you want those. It's been a couple of years, I feel like. Oh, great. Okay, great. Yeah, let me know. It's really full the next couple of months. I think everybody must be on a 2-year training cycle, but let me know. Okay. I can fit you guys in. I like Delray.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Ms. Geiger.
Anything else? I know most of you have heard from me 3 times now,
Right.
so yeah.
Are there any questions from anyone?
No.
No? Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Are we going to be seeing you at the City Commission meeting too?
I've already been there.
Oh, no, I know you were there, but I didn't know
Oh.
if you're doing that.
No, I'm not
The
till
circuit.
next year. Now, next year. You'll see me next
Gotcha.
year.
Okay.
So, I mean, I feel like you must be getting tired of me.
Yeah.
Not at all.
All right, that's good to know.
He's
All right,
collecting
thank you.
notepads and pens.
Yeah, I'm collecting the notepads and pens. It's
Is that right?
really.
Well, we have extras. I mean, but if you get too many, you're going to be.
I don't want to get more over the $100 value, so I'm sticking with the
I'm not.
That's 3. We've
I'm
got
actually
3.
keeping track of how many you have.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right.
See you soon, Renee.
So, it's time now for public comment on agenda and non-agenda items. Do we have anyone for public comment?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Evelyn Dobson, the CEO of the Delray Beach Community Land Trust and a homeowner at 130 Northwest 3rd Avenue. I just want to say thank you. From the conference we just attended, the Florida Housing Coalition annual conference. At that conference this year, there was a lot of conversation centered around community land trusts. They focus on how the program model is truly expanding. But when I'm there, there's always a lot of focus on our community land trusts. How we have sustained ourselves over the years. And we have done that due to the ongoing support from the CRA and from the city. And on behalf of myself, with being there for 20 years, and our board, I do want to thank you. I also sent out an email to all of the commissioners today to invite you to our 20th annual meeting, which we're going to highlight and focus on our successes over the years. Yes, we've had some issues and we still have challenges, but in time, I think we still are in a good position to expand and grow the program and provide ongoing services to the populations that we serve here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I brought printouts to share with you.
You could hand them to the young lady.
Here you go. My name is Max Zengage. Address is 1705 Northwest 4th Avenue, Delray Beach. Lifelong resident and the founder of the Delray Concord Foundation. I'm proud to say we have reached year 5. We have donated over $125,000 to Delray Beach charities, and we've made a massive economic impact on our local businesses. Last year, we have our economic analysis showed $600,000. We also spent $200,000 on the event. A lot of that is in kind through 50 partners in the community. So the community, the businesses, the tax-paying brick and mortar businesses really support this, which means they're obviously doing better when this happens. We're here today because of the process we started last month when we came here, but there's a process to it, so we're following the process. We have our application in for the event to the city. It's the 5th annual International Delray Beach Concord Elegance, and we host $500 million worth of cars. You do not need to be a car person to understand the significance and the big picture power of this. It brings in amazing economic impact from around the world, and their car owners are the titans of industry, the owners of businesses. If they say, oh, I loved spending a weekend here with my family, why doesn't my company do a convention here? We have actually seen that. Now, we have the second most expensive car in the world confirmed for this year. It's an $80 million 1960 Ferrari. You do not need to know anything about cars or care about cars. It's about the history and the international significance of this. Look at Formula One. They spend $500 million on a race. We have a lot of former Formula One racers as speakers this year. But our purpose for being here today is we have tried with staff for the last 4 years, and again this year, to compromise or say, hey, can you relocate the green market across the street? We are really looking to add the front lawn because the least expensive car we host is $1 million. This is a concours. It's not a car show. It's not a parking lot car show. We rejected 400 cars last year. It's really about history. It brought 10,000 people to our downtown. It is the only free concours in the country. So we're here to ask for your consideration. Can I continue, please, to finish my motion?
How much longer do you have?
30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds.
So we're asking you to cancel the green market, and that means agreeing on putting on next month's agenda, and then therefore one day, which is not reinventing the wheel, you already cancel it for Delray Fair, St. Patty's Parade. One day, without any, it's black and white. We provide a larger economic impact to CRA tax-paying businesses in one day, off-season, and it's we believe it's a very common sense, easy. It's to us, it's black and white, and we hope you see the big picture too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christopher Nicotra. I'm a resident of Delray Beach, and I live at 1906 North Swinton Avenue. I'm here on behalf of the Delray Concours Foundation to request your support in canceling the green market on Saturday, the 18th of April, 2026, so that we can expand the International Car Show and use the entire space. This event is not just a car show, it's a world-class concours. We're bringing museum-quality historic automobiles and international collectors to Delray. The economic impact is undeniable. The concourse generates more than $600,000 in direct spending in one weekend and attracts 10,000 attendees from all across the country. More than 50 local businesses benefit, and we've already donated over $125,000 to Delray charities. By comparison, a single Green Market Saturday simply doesn't deliver the scale of impact. The timing also works in the city's favor, as the event takes place after season's end, giving our restaurants and shops a welcoming boost. And the Green Market has already been canceled the week before for the Delray Affair, so this is just one additional Saturday. This is about the bigger picture. The concourse elevates Delray to the same stage as Amelia Island and Pebble Beach Concours. It brings high-value tourism, strengthens our economy, supports our charities, and showcases Delray Beach to a national and international audience. We respect the Green Market and what it brings every week, but for this one Saturday, we ask you to vote and allow Delray to shine on the world stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Billy Himmelrich. I am a business owner and a property owner, and I haven't spoken to you guys in 5 years, maybe 6. It's been a long time. When the concourse moved from 4th Avenue to downtown Delray, I actually personally guaranteed that the city would receive the funds that were raised for a nonprofit. I own the adjacent property in the parking where Tremonti and Cabana are. I'm here to help Max. I'm here in support of the concourse. Less as a car person and more as a property owner and a taxpayer. So I was actually I own the Old School Bakery in addition to the property adjacent at 105, 111 East Atlantic Avenue. I own the property on Congress Avenue where I store a car with Haggerty, who's a great sponsor and pours tax dollars into the city. So as great as this concourse is, and as much as I like to support Max and what he's done, the economic benefit to the city of the concourse far exceeds 1 week of the Green Market. Now, I happen to have been a Green Market participant at the bakery starting in 1999. I'm going to lose sales because I sell the bread to Star Market. But this is really important. I really think that I showed up after all these years for Max and for the concourse because what a great event. You know, it brings 5 times the number of people that the Green Market brings. It's a one-off. I have personally offered over and over to the director of the Green Market any concession she might want and received nothing but pushback for 5 years. Many of you know I'm somebody who likes to give and somebody who doesn't like to ask. And I'm here on a rare occasion to ask for Max and to ask for the city that we cancel the Green Market that one time. Well, other than the Delray Affair. And let's let this thing happen, you know. And if you guys have any requests of me, I'm here to back it up as a property owner and a business owner. And I think any of you who know me well know that if you ask me to do something, I will do it, and I do what I say I'm going to do. So thanks for your help. I hope you'll do it.
And the Vice President of Delray Congress.
That's it.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? Okay. Public comment closed. Can I get a motion and a second for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Deputy Vice Chair Cassell,
Yes.
Commissioner Carney,
Yes.
Commissioner Long, Chair Burns,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Margaret.
Yes.
Okay, we are now to old business, and Ms. Jadasine, you are on.
Thank you very much. Renee Jadasine, Executive Director. So a few old business items. The first one is we wanted to provide an update on the leases for the 98 Northwest 5th Avenue building. So we've been in the process of looking for tenants for this building. As you know, this is a building that we renovated for affordable commercial space. About a year or so ago, the board approved a manual so that staff, with some community members, would participate in the selection and review process of the applications instead of presentations to the board. So we've done that, I think, been really successful. So we just wanted to give an update on where we are. So first is we just had closed a process to find 2 tenants for the 2 remaining bays we had open. And I'm happy to report that we have 2 tenants that were selected. One is Stella Mix. So they are a podcast studio, Delray Beach based. They were in a small space on Congress. I think they were renting at a Regis at this point. But then when they saw this opportunity, they were really excited to be able to be right in Delray Beach in a great location in a new building. So they do offer podcast services that they do themselves and space available for others to do podcasts. They're very excited to be there. They're actually signed their lease already, and they'll be starting on September 1st. With the short build-out period, most of it is just bringing in their furniture and their materials and some outlets, but they are ready to go, and they will be there starting next week. The next one is Sun Up Skin. So this is a holistic facial spa. They'd actually applied for one of our cottages and they were not selected, but they stayed the course. They came back again and applied for 98 Northwest 5th Avenue, the Baines building, and they were selected as well. They are a family with 2 kids, residents in the Northwest neighborhood. So they're, again, very excited. They do have to do a bit more build out than the other tenant, but they are planning to sign their lease very soon, and hopefully they'll be in there in the next few months. And just a couple other updates on the other tenants there. Rabbit Hole, which has great juices, as we all know. They have their permit and they're expected to break ground and start their project shortly. And we do have an item that was on the consent agenda that actually approved their site assistance grant. We'd approved it before. They needed a little bit more money and they were still within their allowed amount, maximum for the grant. So there's no problem. So they should be starting very soon. And we will plan a, kickoff construction celebration in the coming months. Also, Touch of Posh. They had a couple setbacks. They're still kind of working through some of the design phase for their interior build out. So they were a little bit behind schedule than the others, but we're still hopeful that she'll be able to move forward. Otherwise, we'll have to have some discussions to figure out what to do with that space next. But we're still hoping that she'll be able to move forward in the process. And the Atlantic Current, they've been a magazine marketing photography agency. They've been there since 2024. Very happy. They're there every day. They have a few employees. They love it there. Actually, they're welcoming the additional tenants in the space. So we're very excited for the new businesses that'll be opening up on 5th Avenue very soon. That's all.
Okay. And so moving on to item 8B, Renee.
Yes. All right. I'll be all day. Okay. Okay. So this is the award for the request for qualifications for CRA number 2025-01 Northwest 800 block of West Atlantic Avenue Progressive Design Build Redevelopment Project. So this is the properties that we own. They're lit on the screen here on Atlantic Avenue between Northwest 8th and Northwest 9th. So this is the shipping container project as we've termed it, but it is more of a modular build. These were the original renderings, not what it has to look like, but there was a request to table this item until we had the site transformation West Atlantic Master Plan meeting, which we had, and we have some information about that later. So there were actually 2 items that we tabled. It was this item and the development of the West Atlantic 600 through 800 blocks of West Atlantic Avenue. So I'm not sure how you want to kind of tackle these because there was a request to table both until that meeting. So I'm not sure if we want to talk about that meeting first or just go to the items, but there was a request to table them.
What is your pleasure? I just have one question.
Sure.
Before. Does this rendering show the current, I know that the CRA acquired additional property adjacent to this property, which was in addition to the original plan. So does this include the additional parcel that was purchased?
The development, yes. So the renderings were done before as a just kind of a study to find out what options we have. So the images were based on the shipping containers, but the idea was to have an open space for small businesses. So I don't think we have all the images, no. But there was like a playground there. There's a pavilion there, an open pavilion. And then you have these structures that would be for small businesses. So at the time, we did not own these parcels on 9th, these two right here.
Okay, so that does.
We owned Atlantic Avenue, but we did not own these two. And the reason we even looked at alternatives to put in here was that since we didn't have all of it, we were just trying to do some kind of an activation. And I think over the years it has morphed because there has been a lot of negative feedback we've heard from the community members about the containers and this type of a project on West Atlantic Avenue. But I guess as a board at CRA, we decided that we wanted to move forward with some kind of activation. So when we issued the bid, we decided to issue it as modular. So it's a building material. So you could actually build brick, or you could build like with block and then bring it there. It does not have to be a shipping container. That's just what the original study was based on. But this could really be anything. It's a building material thing. And we put in there a modular build, not just it has to be shipping containers.
Okay.
So this is just kind of more detail about the process. But so we had the outreach meeting for the West Atlantic Plan, Set Transformation Plan meeting. We actually had a board that was asking if people were interested in this type of a thing, a modular build on Atlantic Avenue. A lot of stickers, we had stickers going around the room. A lot of people said yes, but I still know that there was some angst or uncertainty about this project on Atlantic Avenue. So we're just kind of bringing it up. The next step would for us to award or to abandon this at this point if we wanted to. So here's just the information about the scoring. And then the end product here would basically be to authorize us to negotiate with Waypoint Contracting as the selected proposer. Or if we don't, then we can abandon negotiations at our sole discretion as well. We can authorize staff to go negotiate with the next, or we can just cancel the RFQ right now. Those are the options that we have at this point.
Anybody, any comments?
I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time.
Yes.
I mean, I would like to see what the final design looks like before I award anything, but I don't think I would necessarily want to slow up the process because, you know, I mean, I had big concerns about the whole modular thing to begin with, but the decision's been made and we're moving forward. So I just, yeah, I think that if we're going to do it, we need to kind of keep moving forward here and not just dither around and not do something.
Well, the design is not done yet. So,
I'm saying,
yeah, this would have to
This is
start.
really just for design services.
Yes,
and
it
I
is.
think, you know, I would feel differently if we were doing a construction thing, but I mean, I would like to see what it's going to look like before, and we're not going to see that until we engage someone to do that. And I just think if we're going to do this, we may as well, if this was the company you chose, I think they're the best qualified to give us that design.
Right. Well, it's a design build, so this would be designed to the next
Right,
step.
I
So we'd have
understand.
to end it if we didn't want to go forward. We'd have to just
Right.
kind of let them know that we want to
At the end
just
of that period.
Right. We'd have to
Right.
just
There's
make
two
it clear.
components to the contract. One is the
Right.
design portion, the other is the build.
Correct.
If we don't like what they do, we can terminate at that point, choose
Right.
somebody else, or continue with the contract and let them go forward with what they've designed.
Exactly.
That's essentially it? Okay.
Commissioner Cosell?
I agree. I mean, we've been working on this for so long. And the one thing that persuaded me to want to continue, I know there were times where you weren't sure if this was appropriate, is that the RAC group really embraced this wholeheartedly and wants to see this. But I want to say one thing, and I always appreciate the committees, but the only thing about these scores that kind of concern me, you have one person, I value the opinion of all three of these individuals equally, who thinks Hatcher's the best. You have one person who thinks Waypoint is the best, and you have one person who thinks, you have Hatcher, Waypoint, and you have the other one,
DMR.
DMR. And it's worrisome. They're very close. Again, and if they're design building, are they all providing different designs? Sometimes we're providing the design and then we're getting a contractor and you say, okay, because presumably I would never consider myself qualified enough to pick a contractor. But looking at a design and then building from there, I'm just curious. It concerns me when the point spread is like this and we have I'm looking for maybe a little more information. I would like to proceed, so
Okay.
I want to say that, and quickly, because I think we've been talking about this for so long. they're close in points, and again, I mean, can you give us a little more insight as to why Waypoint?
Well, I will say that
It's a bigger score, 264 total
Right.
is a much higher score.
yes, they have a lot of construction and they have a lot of background experience.
Okay.
They did not actually have specific modular container, shipping container experience necessarily, but I think it's their construction experience and background. They were working with a separate architect on this that I think had a strong background as well. Hatchers had some modular or some container, shipping container experience. I think they're working on a project in West Palm is what was in their bid. DMR had some of that type of experience as well. I think it's just like the past projects and things that they submitted. We can share all of those with you all if we want to do that, and you can take a look at all of the proposers. But there was a lot of discussion about that of, you know, the qualifications and everything. But they all hit it. They all were qualified contractors, and the architects as well. So it's like a design build team that's coming forward.
I guess what I mean is just to kind of piggyback there on what was said. I'd like to know. I mean, there are some of these requirements that I deem to be more important than others,
Right.
and it would be kind of good to see how each one
The
of these
breakdown.
fared
Oh,
on
yes.
each individual category.
Okay.
Right.
And I guess because then I'd have a better idea of what they thought was important, which may not be what I think is important.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying that they won't be the same. It's
Right. Do you want to do presentations? We can still also ask them to do a presentation because we didn't have presentations with the committees. So we could do that, and then that way we can share all the breakdown of scores with you all and bring it back again next month. I know it's another month, but it's still a big contract for us, so we want to make sure that it's right. So we could do that and ask them to
I'm
present.
not worried about another month. We've been at this 12 months, so if it ends up 13 and we're still moving the ball down the
Right.
field, then that's really what I'd like to do.
We could do that, presentations.
So I mean, would you want
That's
to?
kind of, I like the breakdown. I like to see this point spread. I was asking
Absolutely.
for this in the city too. And I apologize, I should have asked for you to give that sooner. But I think it just helps. This is a big, exciting project right on Atlantic Avenue, and we want it to be perfect.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, couple
presentation.
comments.
Commissioner Moore.
Yeah, just a couple comments. I'm in favor of getting the design work done. As you and I know from the meeting last week, there was some anxiety among the residents about this particular project. We have to all be conscious of that. I'm going to say it one more time. There was some anxiety about this project from
It is right here.
from the residents.
But I think
So,
we're-
I mean, we work for the residents, so we have to be really conscious of that. But what I think might help us is if we have the design done and we've got some materials that can bring it out and be more definitive about what we're trying to do. That may alleviate some of the anxiety. So I'm in favor of spending a little bit of money to. I agree with what the mayor
well,
said.
this is design build, so they would be
No,
presenting
But you can
us.
stop after
We
the
can
design.
stop.
If we don't
Yeah,
like the
if
design.
we want to.
Right,
Right.
we can build that in.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
we can do
Because
that.
I think we want to have an exit.
Don't forget the RAC committee came in and spoke to this, and they represent every section of the
Yeah.
CRA districts, and they were all in favor. And Renee's been doing public outreach, and there's a lot of support.
Well, I would
mixed,
say at the
yeah.
meeting, you were there too. I mean, there was definitely some anxiety expressed among the neighbors that I think we need to make sure they're all comfortable with it.
And
Well, I
if you
think-
remember, one of the first meetings, I expressed the thing about, do we really want modular along
You did.
West Atlantic?
You did.
Right.
And I was assured that it won't look like it's
It doesn't
modular.
look
It's gonna
like
look like
modular.
this other kind of stuff.
No.
And I'm willing to
See the design.
look at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So, and you know, I'm okay with getting a design, but
Yeah.
I want to make sure that the design has what the vision of the community
Of course,
has,
absolutely.
and not, you know, we get their vision, like see the vision of the community, and then also if we could look at something a little more permanent now that we have the additional property that we didn't have before, because the original thoughts was less those 2 extra parcels.
Right.
And so now that we have that whole thing, maybe we can look at something. I mean, I think one of the biggest concerns I had was $7 million in something that's temporary.
But it's not temporary. I mean, it's
Well,
not.
excuse me, that was what
that's
we were
Temporary
saying.
compared to constructing a concrete
Right.
building in that you could
Right.
remove it, but you don't have to.
I understand
So
that,
it's
but
really
that is
just
not
less
what was
expensive.
communicated. It was that this is something to get it activated, and that it would be temporary, that something else could move there in the future.
Yeah.
And I'm talking putting something permanent there and not looking at changing it for the future, like a permanent.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Okay, because a big part of these scores were the build component. And, which is why I brought up, I'd like to see, because, I mean,
looks like
the
it.
design is
Yeah.
important if we're looking at design. The
Yeah.
build, when you integrate the both components of this, and you have like, how are they doing on the past performance of their construction? How are they doing on this? That's a big part of the grade, and that's why I get nervous about what I think is important right now is the design, and then see if we want to move forward with it. And I, as I said, I've shared the same views when I was sitting in that chair before about the concept of a modular along
Yes.
Atlantic.
Yes.
I mean, but it could be the best thing since sliced bread. I don't know that because I haven't seen it. So
And Madam Chairman, you said something that resonated with me. You don't want to see something that's generic.
Right.
You want to see something that's more down the road and more
Absolutely.
indicative of. So can we accomplish that in this exercise?
Absolutely. So I think that what we have now is a
think
opportunity
that's a
to be
great
able to
point.
design and build what we would like. We used the study, we used all that background information as the support and to give people information, because right now, even to do the modular type thing, there's certain things that have to change in the city code and all that. So we did this study to explore what it would take to do something like this. But it's not set in, nothing has been set in stone at all. We all now with the community can look and design together how we would want this to look. It doesn't have to be exactly what was in that study. It was
yeah, I
just
mean,
a study.
This is the gateway to our city, and
That's
the
what I'm
reality is
saying,
across
right.
the street when you do the 600, 700, 800 blocks.
Right.
What's going to be across the street from these people that we're asking to spend $100 million on?
Right.
Whatever the number is going to be, it's going to be more than that.
Probably.
They're probably going to be wanting to know what they're going to be looking at.
Absolutely. Yes.
And that's why I think it's
It's a big deal. I mean, this is like you said, it's a gateway to the city. So the intent was always to have something that's tasteful. I mean, it was a very colorful thing in the beginning, but it doesn't have to be that at the end
Presentations were
result.
lovely, though. I mean, I've
Well,
been
right.
here since the beginning.
Right.
Nothing was going to go in there that would detract from the city. It's
No.
attractive. It was going to bring people to the city and be a meeting place, a place
Right.
to organize and entertain, a place that you could walk to. There was a water park aspect
Mm-hmm.
for children. A lot of options. You could put a market there, like a green market.
Yes. Has the pavilion.
There's a lot of time and thought put into this, and I appreciate. But we have gone through this over and over and over and over and over again. And the biggest problem I have, and while I agree, I like to see a little bit, is that every election we have people coming up saying, we have no development on Atlantic Avenue, we're getting nothing on Atlantic Avenue. That's on us.
Yeah. And we have people that are saying leave it green space as well. However, do you have your
So we'll do a work. So we'll
Direction?
plan a workshop and ask for presentations, and we'll get the scores to everyone. So that way we can see it. We can all be comfortable with it, and we'll try to do that. I think we have to check schedules, but we'll make sure everyone is available for that.
All right, thank you.
Table it. Yes, tabling it again.
So moved.
second.
Commissioner Carney,
Yes.
Commissioner Long, Chair Burns,
Yes.
Vice Chair Markert,
Yes.
and Deputy Vice Chair Cassell.
Yes.
Okay, Renee, we are on item 8C.
Next. Okay. So this was the other item that was tabled from the last meeting. On to the next one. Let's go back to this discussion. So as you know, for the last few months, we've had this on the agenda to discuss the RFP or some kind of a solicitation for the Southwest 600 through 800 blocks of West Atlantic Avenue. I think from our first meeting, I believe we did it in April, there was pretty resounding, we need a supermarket. I think that was the biggest thing, that we want to try to move forward with the 600 block, because that's our largest block, and try to do some sort of a bid for a supermarket. So we've been going on that track. we've had a draft bid on our agenda for the last couple of months in order to have this place for us to speak, and also for the development community to speak as well, because different developers have come to me. I think there's one or two that may be here today, giving their feedback on what they think should be on West Atlantic Avenue, or what should be on these blocks. So again, we're just bringing this to the board to keep the conversation going. We committed to do it every month, so this is our space to be able to talk about that. But at some point, we do need to issue an RFP, a request for proposals, and we just want to see where we are in that process. Like I said, the draft bid has been on our agenda for review. And we wanted to table this until we had the Set Transformation West Atlantic Plan Amendment meeting, which we did. And we had a lot of people there. I think we had well over 100 people. It was a great exercise. We took the principles, we took the action items that were in the Set Transformation Plan and put them on boards for people to actually gauge where they're at, if they think this item should be removed, what percentage complete they think this item is, or if they need more information. We had a board with like yes, no's. If you want a supermarket, no, yes or no. If you want a bank, you want a pharmacy, all the things that were in the West Atlantic Needs Assessment, we put them all out there. So we're still gathering information, and we have another meeting on September 8th. From 5:30 to 7:30 at the library, and then we'll have one more meeting after that, and then hopefully the consultants will be able to start doing the amendment. So just that's the update really for what happened with the meeting. So it's really for us to discuss where we are with the process. If we're still looking to push forward with the RFP for the 600 block for a supermarket, we were proposing a supermarket, at least parking. If you can build anything else in that block, that would be great, icing on the cake, but those are the minimums that we would have. So if we want to change course or look at the other blocks as well, again, this is just the time for us to talk about it.
Okay, open up. Commissioner Market, would you like to start?
I think that's a great idea. I don't really have any further comments.
Wait,
Commissioner
is he
Casale?
saying move forward then? You want to
With
move
issuing?
Yeah.
We were thinking to issue in October. I'll just add that in there as well. So we have another month just to make sure we're wrapping our heads around the RFP, take another good look at it, and then issue sometime in October. Just the 600 block,
Right.
not the other two.
Okay.
Right, we were breaking it up.
Mayor, you have a comment?
Well, I voted to acquire this property. I think you were sitting next to me at the time, back in 2009 or 10.
Oh,
We've
boy.
been talking about this for that long. So I think the argument that we have not been pursuing at West Atlantic as vigorously is probably a degree of a fair comment. I mean, there's been some things intervening, lawsuits and other things, but I do think now that we have a clear path ahead, I think that developing this parcel is very important. I think we've outlined what the community wants with respect to the having a grocery store of some kind. Whether or not they can fit a financial institution there in the same parking lot, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It does, but I'm just saying the grocery store is going to be the anchor. And I think we decided to break them up into 3 parcels, which is going to give more people the opportunity, different levels to make bids. I just think we should move ahead.
Okay. And my comment is going to be the same. We need a developer who understands the community's vision, and I'm good.
Great, me too.
Okay.
I'll add also that, so we were at the conference, I was going to talk about it later on, but we were at a housing conference. There was also the ICSC shopping center conference, so I actually passed out a lot of flyers to a few supermarkets that were there, a few brokers, developers, a lot of people. It was a huge conference, and banks as well. So we also got their contact information to send out the information to them when the bid goes out. But people seem to be, at least remotely interested that there's opportunities in Delray Beach. But that was the message, is that we have opportunities here. So come on in. But it still has to align with what we want. So
I look forward to going to the groundbreaking. I still have the shirt from when we bought it in 2010.
we have to wear
So-
that, the original.
Do we need a motion for this?
No motion. No, this is just discussion. So what we'll do, we're going to go back into the RFP. Like I said, the draft has, I believe, on there the grocery store, public parking at a minimum, and maybe even, I think we even added in housing, but the minimum of the supermarket and parking. And if you can do other things on that block, that's great. We'll consider it, but we really want at least those 2 things. So we'll go back and fine tune that and bring it back on the agenda in September with a schedule of issuing in October.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Item 8D, Renee and Gina.
Okay. It's me again. We're just having a conversation today. I know, no breaks today, no breaks. I'm going to the whole thing. Okay, so this is our draft overview of our budget. So we received a city budget request, I think about a month and a half ago, and put together our budget. We've sent those emails out to you. So this is just our big overview of the budget. So if you'll indulge, we'll kind of roll through these slides, but just wanting for the public and for you all to see what's proposed. A lot of these things are the same because we're keeping on task to make sure that we're following through with these projects. So there's not a lot of major changes in here, but again, I just wanted to make sure we present all of them so everyone hears it publicly. So here are the overall needs from our CRA redevelopment plan, which is in the process of being amended. So we're hopeful that by time the Set Transformation West Atlantic Plan is amended, our redevelopment plan will also be amended and be going to the city for approval at the same time. But for now, these are our overall needs: removing slum and blight, land use, economic development, affordable housing, downtown housing infrastructure, and recreation cultural facilities. Just a reminder of our sunset date right now. We have 19 years left in bright red, bright red. So this is what it is so far. No changes. Hopefully Tallahassee is friendly to us again this year. But we do have 19 years left for our CRA. And here are overall priorities. These again are continuing most of from last year. I won't read them through. You can have this to look at later. But big picture, we're looking at short-term and long-term planning initiatives, which is where our plan amendments come in. Also some property maintenance that we're doing for either properties we have or properties that we are acquiring. And then we also have property development, and that would fall with the 600, 700, 800 blocks. The Northwest blocks as well. There's some work happening there. And all of those are listed or different property developments that we're looking at, either existing or we're always looking to purchase. And then we also have a category for demolitions. So you'll see some that we've completed and some that we have going on in the future. But usually if we're acquiring a property, a lot of times has some structures that need to be demolished, and that's just part of what we do. So we have a category that highlights that as well. And here are some things that we're working on with the city. So the crossed out things that are completed, which is great. The others are things that are continuing on into the following year. And these are just overall ongoing activities that we have. Again, won't read through the list, but you can take a look at here, ongoing things in addition to the property things that we're doing.
To get people off the tennis courts.
It's the lightning.
Yeah, for those of you that's a lightning.
Lightning. It's
that's
not us.
Lightning from the tennis center. It's okay.
Right?
Easy.
Go underneath the desk.
DJ's already out of here. He's taking right to the shelter.
Go underneath the table. And this is also something that we wanted to highlight, were the lots that we've acquired and then issued bids for affordable housing. So in Delray, or especially in our district, we're a largely single-family home neighborhood. So we really try our best to purchase infill lots when we can, when they're reasonably priced. So this year, we were able to issue bids for quite a few. You'll see several on the top that are in building permit review. The others are pending permit submission, which we're excited about. And you'll see others that are on this agenda actually that we'll be issuing bids for, and some that we're still doing some land use to do lot splits. Some of it's a little bit of a heavy lift because the lots are not all platted correctly, which I'm sure you see on with your other hat that happens. But we're trying to really get into those, and I think it's part of our affordable housing initiative is to try to work with those properties to fix them basically so that they can be put out for affordable housing. So just a list of the things that we have in process. And then obviously we have the Arts Warehouse programming, and there's a few slides there. The workspace at 98 Northwest 5th, the Bain Building, this is a new addition. So you heard about our tenants down below. We also still have the workspace on top. And here's just more information about that. And then the Green Market again, starting back October 25th, and it runs through May 16th for the winter season. That's our season. And then the summer market starts May 30th through July 25th. All right, now Gina's going to get into some of the nitty-gritty numbers.
The fun part right now. I just wanted to notice we did do a comparative from last year's budget to the proposed for this year. It has increased, and this is just for the sub areas. So we have budgeted or proposed to budget 103,200,616 for 2026. And as you can see on the chart here, the majority of that is in the Northwest neighborhood, and that's at 67 million, and that's primarily Pompey Park, as well as the Northwest neighborhood infrastructure project with the city, which is at that project is at 15.6 million. In Pompey, we have budgeted 45 million, which is a rollover from what we had budgeted in prior years. So that's just part of our carry forward. It's not new funds there. And in the sub areas between sub area 3 and sub area 4, that accounts for about 87% of the whole sub area. Okay. And then if we go through the request from the city on the Clean and Safe program, it has been an increase of 6.16% for 309,132. It's late. I'm sorry. So as you can see here, there are just a few positions. Most of it is still the same from prior years. We have added a few new positions, as well as I guess it's on this part of the engineering. So we've moved up. I just wanted to point out the police line item, even though it says 10 there, it's actually 14, because in prior years, we added 4 additional officers, and now that amount has just moved up to the one line item. I just wanted to make that clear here. So the police portion has not gone up significantly there. And then if you go to the next slide, thank you. Most of this is basically the same. We have increased the budget for extra pressure cleaning in the Clean and Safe area in the downtown. But there aren't really any significant increases here in the Clean and Safe. And then under our city contractual agreements, we have added a couple of new positions here requested from the city. We have 2 project managers now, and I guess one is going to be more dedicated to increase like the CRA projects, help with that, and the curb appeal program. And okay, so in the city maintenance portion, the curb appeal program is still the same as in prior year. We're trying to gear that program up with the aid from the city and Jerry. And on the streetscape maintenance, that contract or the ILA there has expired, so we shouldn't be funding that going forward. Okay, so on the city CIP projects, the city has requested for 2026 the $25 million for Pompey Park. We have set aside the $45 million, and this was, like I said before, is part of our carry forward. So that's not new funding. We've been putting money away for this project for a few years now to get built up for what we're expecting on that project. And we've put more in on they have requested 15.6 million for the Northwest Neighborhood Infrastructure Project. And we are proposing to fully fund that for this year's request on that, as well as the Southwest 8th streetscape improvements of 1.2 million.
I have a question.
Any questions?
Yes. The OSS master plan implementation, $500,000. Is that new? I mean, I remember talking about $500,000 to do something with some grass or something.
Yes, that's next.
And oh, okay. So, but these two figures.
The two
You have- this
500s.
is- Okay.
Two different
500s.
500,000s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've had the OSS master plan implementation 500,000 for several years, and it kept carrying over. And that's part of the discussion for the next slides that we have here about what's kind of evolved with that. The other 500,000 was the Crest Historic Preservation Initiative, and I believe there was a RFQ that went out with the city for architectural services. So we discussed this a few months ago about us putting another 500,000, just 500. Yes, that's the number. For that, and we approved doing that, but that's it, not doing anything else. And that would just be to assist with the cost of architectural, because in our redevelopment plan we do talk about supporting the campus and the theater and everything. So that's why there's two different amounts. Okay. But we always left the other 500,000 for the OSS master plan alone. Okay. That's been there.
Okay.
But the Crest Theater would be pending a decision by this board to make that expenditure.
No, we already agreed on that.
We already did
We
it.
already agreed, the Crest we
Yeah, that's
agreed
why
on.
we agreed.
Yes
with
and no. We
did.
We have an RFP that's gone out.
No, this isn't the city.
The city's.
We're talking just the CRA budget.
Right.
We agreed some time ago to allocate that money as our part of the, if you will, care and upkeep of that property.
It was
as
something else
CRA.
first, and then we switched it over, wasn't it?
No,
No, well-
500, the other 500 was something else.
That's right.
The initial request last year was for that first 500,000 to be
We
switched
already
during the
agreed on
budgeting.
it, is what.
Right, and then I guess we didn't realize that happened during budgeting, so we only budgeted 500 for the master plan. So as sometime a few months ago, when I realized what happened, we brought it to the board saying there was an actual request for 500,000, but we wanted to leave the master plan 500,000 so that there was still money there to commit to moving that forward. And then we allocated a different set of funds, another 500,000 to the Crest. But that RFQ, the whole process goes through the city. We're the funding source basically. So that once we approve that, it was entered into the ILA with the city for the CIP projects, the capital improvement projects, and then we just wait for the city to bill us. Right. So the process part goes through the city. We're not approving what happens with it. So if the city decides we're not doing this, then our money just gets absorbed. It'll probably go to the Northwest Neighborhood Project. But at this point, it's just sitting in the budget waiting for that request from the city to draw down, if that makes sense.
I'm just going to play it back to you to make sure it makes sense to me.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm from Syracuse. Everything's slow.
Okay.
So the money's been allocated, and it's sitting there, and it's in a budget, and it's allocatable.
Yes.
But we are waiting on the city/the city commission to review the plans and then make a decision about how we would like to spend those funds / if we would like to spend those funds.
No.
I don't know the city
It's
part.
design,
Excuse
though,
me,
right?
Commissioner Cassell,
Design.
please let Ms. Jadison
Sorry.
explain
I
that.
apologize, I just remember
No, you're
our
good.
discussion.
Right. So I don't know the city part of it or where it is in the process, but basically whatever the city decides, and I don't know what, again, the steps that would be involved in that.
Yeah.
And maybe Missy can be called up here to help us with this.
Missy,
but
we're calling you
Missy,
up
we're
here.
calling
Sorry,
you.
Missy.
I need help,
It's okay.
please.
No, you need to get an explanation, because I was there as well.
You have this,
But I
yes.
got it now, but
Yes,
I want
but-
you to be clear.
Thank you.
It's okay. That's why I was
Sorry,
here.
Missy.
So, at the last commission meeting, you approved entering into the contract with the architect that's going to do the 3 initial designs,
Uh-huh.
and that is $236,000 of the $500,000 that you awarded to us to pay for that process.
Okay.
When we bring those three designs forward, then you'll decide which one that you want to go with or none. I
Yep.
mean, that is also an option for you. And then we'll negotiate the design fee for whichever of the 3 options, or no option the board
that we
chooses.
choose from. Okay. I'm in agreement with that.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you,
thanks.
Missy.
Thank you, Missy. I like your green.
Missy should stay. Okay.
Thanks for coming, Missy.
Oh, Missy's still here. Missy, you might.
I know you're
The
not.
next one might have questions too. So, leading back to the second 500,000, the old school square master plan. So when we talked about this some months ago, or even I think even a year plus, we talked about trying to implement portions of the old school square master plan, which you see an image of it here. So there's basically like a tiered stadium, so we're seating here, getting rid of the concession stands. I think there was even a waterfall here. It was a lot in what this was initially. It was, yes, very robust plan. But we were trying to implement it to try to help with some of the issues that were happening at the grounds to fix some of these things. And we were looking at maybe implementing some of these turf block here to try to help with that. And I think in looking and working with the city staff and designing and the amount of turf block and different things that would happen to the grounds, it's really diverging from implementing the master plan and going more into like a maintenance effort, which wasn't really the intent of our funding. So at this point, we just wanted to bring it to the board during the budget discussion to see and hear your thoughts on that, because I think if we're doing so much turf block and so many things that are not in the master plan, we're diverging from the intended purpose of the funds to implement the master plan. So if our idea is to really go forward with that master plan, I think that it takes a lot more money. It's a whole different process as opposed to maintenance, which isn't really what we were, our goal or our intent was not maintenance. So just want to hear your thoughts.
So what you're saying is what it has morphed into is really not what we're supposed to be doing with the money.
Not really. It's gone to a different effort. We were talking about turf block because, as you know, the use is so heavy on there. The grounds get used a lot for the green market and all these other events that are happening. The grass is getting just damaged quite a bit. But we were talking about implementing some of this turf block. But I think the amount that we would have to even put in there would be just a lot. And then you'd be sitting on like turf block and not on grass anymore, because it would just be all this type of block, concrete type things all over the place. And I don't know if that's the intent and plan, and if we'd want to do that and make that drastic of a decision on the whole grounds when we were looking at this other type of master plan. So I think the idea is what do we want to do with this space? I think it's a bigger question.
So this maintenance thing would be moving away from what the master plan
Yes,
outlines. Okay.
yes, because it's different. It would be different in order to try to really to address and get rid of a lot of this grass, but then you're getting rid of a lot of grass. And I just think that bigger conversations probably need to be had about the campus and the grounds to find out what direction we want to go in, as opposed to doing something like this that would change so much of
I get
it
it.
at this point.
Mayor, you want to comment on that?
Nope. Fine.
You're done.
I'm done. I can agree on things too, you know. I mean, I'm not always confrontational.
Absolutely.
Are you looking for
Commissioner
direction
Cassell?
from us? Are you looking for
Just comment.
If
If
you
you
have
have,
any
if you have a
comments
different,
about that.
No, but I think we should revisit the plan to see where we allocated that money. We talked about that there is a large plan, and I imagine there's a way that we can utilize that funds on that campus, but in a different way that still gives us the contribution to the campus from the CRA, but keeps in line with what our goals are intended to be. So maybe you could look into that.
Okay, we can work with Public Works and see if there's other things. I think the idea was like the turf block and and lighting and things like that. But again, it was just getting so drastic because we were trying to do too many things. We're trying to address the issues that were happening, plus implement a master plan. And I think if we're just looking at implementing parts of the master plan, the issues that's happening at the campus just aren't going to get fixed. But maybe some of the other pieces of the plan can get implemented that are in line. But it's not going to necessarily satisfy the other issues that are happening there. and that would just be another conversation. So I think we should leave the money in, it's
Right, as it's allocated.
right, since it's been there and we've been rolling it over, but
Right.
I can work with Missy in Public Works since you guys seem to be still interested in doing something, but it just won't necessarily fix everything that's happening there. That was never the intent anyway.
Okay.
So.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Okay.
But I think to be able to go in and strategically fix some things is great.
Right. Well, yeah, it just won't be
It won't be the full Monty, but it'll tidy things up a little bit. I think it's great.
just a couple things on the list, right? I think, and I'll work
great.
with Missy on that.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Gina, were you finished?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
Okay.
You're too close to me.
That's good.
I did just want to bring up that when we budgeted the revenue side, we did do a mill of, yeah,
What?
The millage rate.
yeah, the millage rate. So that will probably potentially change
Oh,
when
right.
you guys.
Our budget is going
yes.
to change based on our budget.
Yeah.
Your budget.
Yes.
Our budget will change based on our
Yeah, so I just wanted
That's
that
significant.
but
Thank
it
you.
shouldn't be
Right.
significant because we
No.
even backed it down from what your max
Yes.
was. So
Right.
So
So
it wouldn't
that'll
be
be
significant.
it won't be a significant change. We
So
can
we're just
adjust.
looking at some minor changes.
Yeah, minor
Okay.
changes. Yeah, and again, if you guys have any changes once you look at it, this is the first you're seeing the full thing, so we still have
Right.
next month to look at it. If we need to plan another meeting before the end of September, if you guys want to make changes, we can absolutely do that. But this is the opportunity to kind of make some shifts. But again, this is carrying forward a lot of the projects that are already happening, not a lot of new things.
You don't want to work.
This is Pompey Parks, and now I'll keep going.
now I'm done.
Thank you, Gina.
Back
Lovely
over. So,
presentation.
This is the just images about the proposed Pompey Park project. So we still have that budgeted amount of $45 million that we've carried over. The Northwest Neighborhood Improvement Project, that's also, high priority for us. So we've done our best to get to the number that the city asked for, the 15 million. I know we still need more, and we'll talk about bonding and things like that in a little bit, but we are on target seemingly to hit the number that we're requesting for the next fiscal year. And then here's a summary of some of the other CRA projects that we have in the works. The first one is the Northwest 600 block. Those are the townhomes that we showed you all images of with the accessory dwelling units. We've had 1.9 million in the budget for some years, but we're kind of starting to ramp that up because we'll probably go into for permits next year. We're well into the design phase of that, so we'll have to start getting cost estimates soon, but we wanted to put a little bit more in there just to get ready for that project, because that's one that I assume we're funding. We could try to get a loan for that one as well if we wanted to, if we need to, because it would be a for sale product, so we would get the money back from the sale. So we can talk about that later, but we at least wanted to put in a little bit more money into that project. The next one was the Northwest 800 block that we mentioned. We are also proposing to put our land acquisition budget back up to 12 million. I think we'd budgeted 12 million this year. We'd like to do that again. And then the others are just some smaller projects on 98 Northwest 5th for signage. 95 Southwest 5th, that's the building we're trying to attract a medical facility. That one will be finished this year. So the next phase will just be maintenance, signage, and build out for the tenants, and then demolition, a small demolition project. Okay, and then other CRA managed projects. So I listed all of the projects that we have land, or the land that we own in these different blocks. I put these here and we added it into the budget and just put a small amount of money in there. So in case there's any questions in Tallahassee that come around next year about projects that are budgeted and things that are budgeted, every single one of the lots that we have property in has a budget line item in there with an amount. So that because we do plan to do something there, we just don't have it necessarily ironed out, but we wanted to make sure that it's at least shown in our budget that these are things that are accounted for in our budget. So any property, any place we have land on West Atlantic, we just put that line item in the budget, and you'll see it in the detailed budget. And then here's our funding assistance program. So we have our paint up and signage program. We have site assistance program that helps with interior build out, and also a design services program. And then this also would include the curb appeal program that's run through the city service development, or city neighborhood services. And then we also have to look at our goals and objectives analysis. This is the new addition from Tallahassee in 2024, where all dependent special districts have to make this goals and objectives report. So we made it for ourselves. There was no real guidance on what it's supposed to look like, but we just made it based on our work plan and our budget to do an analysis of how we spent and what we did and the projects, the progress and the projects moving forward. So we have to do that again for this coming fiscal year. Didn't hear any issue with what we proposed last year, so we're going to do that same report again, just attaching our work plan and our budget. And then also by December 1st, we just have to do a report based on what we approved last year on what happened for the fiscal year. So that's kind of like our annual report that we do normally in March. We'll do another one to satisfy the December deadline. So we'll have 2 different annual reports, basically saying the same thing though. So you'll see that on next budget and next year, next meeting to approve. And then here's our priorities. This is going to mirror the list we saw in the beginning, but these are the same projects from this fiscal year carrying over and a few new things on the list, but same general categories. And then continuing work with the city projects. One thing I'd always like to mention is that at the very bottom, the smaller print, future infrastructure project, we have to remember that our commitment was also to the infrastructure in the Southwest neighborhood. We were doing Osceola Park, Northwest, and then Southwest. So we've checked off Osceola, Northwest is underway. The next is Southwest, and we still have 19 years left. So I always like to put that out there so we remember the focus point of the infrastructure that's really important. And these numbers are really big because Northwest is $80 million is the cost estimate, and Pompeii was 45. So I'm sure Southwest will probably be bigger because it's a larger area. But I always like to make sure we mention that in the budgeting.
I like it down there.
It has to, yeah, we have to keep it top of mind so it doesn't get forgotten about in our 19 years. And then I wanted to highlight these 2 slides here. This is the Reverend Dr. J.W. Ace Thomas Park and the small park small parking lot in Osceola Park. We had talked to the city about transferring those over to the city, to Parks and Rec and to Public Works. The parking lot's great because you can meter it now. I think that's the intent. So we're working on that. Our attorney's working on the documents in ILA so that we can hopefully get those transferred in the beginning of the fiscal year as well. Almost finished. Okay, so things for discussion. Like I mentioned briefly, the bond for the Northwest Neighborhood Infrastructure Project. We're working closely with Public Works to find out when the timing will be right for that. We have to draw down what we can spend in 3 years, basically. So we want to make sure that we're timing it correctly. But I know we are budgeting the amount that's requested for next year. So I don't know if there's a need for more. We'll have to just figure that out. But again, we have 15 million and the cost estimates are 80 today. So, or a couple years ago. It's a big number. Yeah. The other one I wanted to bring up is parking enhancements. So we also added that into our budget as another project of parking enhancements. And this could be maintenance of parking lots that we own currently. It could be a parking garage. We had been kind of kicking around an idea. I knew I was going to get
Yes.
I knew I was going to get a
Just making sure I was paying attention. I know. Yeah.
You're awake now. Well, we were kicking around an idea of maybe exploring a parking garage by Bednar's in that area by 3rd and 3rd, because with more activity that's happening there, people are parking in the alleys. We see it at Arts Warehouse all the time. They're parking on the street. So I just think and that parking lot's always full. So I had brief conversations with Missy about the potential for that. So we might bring that back if you guys I see shaking heads, so we can maybe bring back some next steps, maybe a little bit of a study first, or I don't know how we would start the process, but we did put something in our budget for parking enhancements so that we can look at that. And maybe that's something we look at with the bond when we do Northwest, right, or do it separately, but that's something that would be great. Make a parking garage.
We need to bond. We don't have that kind of.
We don't have that. Well, we need 80 million, but yes, we could take out a bond for this and have a new parking garage over by that area, which I think would be welcomed by the business owners. And then we're open to any suggestions by the board, now or later, or so take a look and just let us know. Like I said, our budget would get approved at the end of next month. Unless you all want to have another meeting or have any other ideas, let me know. We can always have another meeting in the interim. Otherwise, we will move forward with what we have here.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you very much. We're trying all there. Okay. The parking garage did it. I think.
No, I think we need a couple of parking garages, to tell the truth.
Yeah.
But that on 3rd Avenue there, there's a new restaurant there at the corner of 3rd and 3rd. There's that
Glimmer.
that Glimmer,
Glimmer.
which is, I haven't been in, but my wife has. She said it's packed the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You got that new restaurant coming on right across the street from Glimmer.
Yep.
And then you got the cafe next door to Glimmer. And then you've got, I mean, so.
It's a lot. It was already busy, but
And
now.
when and if everything is done with that property next to the railroad, they're going to have parking. So I mean, I wish you could get something done with those 5 townhomes that are just laying fallow there at the end of the street there.
Is that the one next to the gas station?
Next to Bednar's.
No, it's next to Bednar's, it's across the street. I mean,
And the gas
Next to the
station.
gas station.
Yeah, the gas
I think
station.
they haven't done anything with
Can we
like
buy that? I mean,
2 or 3 years.
No, we're not
I
buying
was
that
just
right
going
now.
to ask you.
Those
Well,
are-
if you
I think they
complete it,
went
I
out
bet
Should
you
we
can get a
find
lot
them
of
and buy
support.
them?
I heard
Can we
they
find
went-
them?
They went bankrupt. That's what I
what
They
I
heard.
heard.
did?
I heard.
Oh. Well, can we get it
I
less
knew
money
that
then?
very early on when they first got started.
Okay.
They, you know,
Can we
they-
get it
they-
for less
everybody
money if
fought
they're
We're
back.
not
bankrupt?
purchasing over there, Renee.
Okay.
Boy.
Well, if they're listening or anyone,
You can
we're
make them offices. I mean, home residence offices for the commissioners of the CRA. There's 5 of them,
jeepers
5 of us.
creepers.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
well for the $0 that you get, you can contribute the zero.
Yeah.
All right, so
Thank you.
that's it. That's the budget.
All right, so are we moving on to new business?
Yes, we are. That's it. That's just
we're at-
presentation.
And Renee, guess who's presenting?
It's me again, guys. Surprise.
9A.
All right, so 9A. This is a request to issue RFP number 2025-08, the disposition of one CRA-owned vacant lot at 216 Northwest 8th Avenue for the development of affordable and workforce housing. So here's a picture of the site. The CRA purchased the single-family lot in June 25th, 2025, and we're basically just seeking approval to issue the RFP. It's the same RFP we've issued for all the other ones we did earlier this year. We're really trying to turn these things out. We don't want to keep these lots for infill. We've had some for over the time. Some need some work land use that we're working on. But some of these other ones, as soon as we get them, our goal is really to just put them right back out for development. So we would like to request the board to authorize us to issue an RFP for this lot.
You need a motion?
Yes, please.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Long, Chair Burns,
Yes.
Vice Chair Markert,
Yes.
Deputy Vice Chair Casal,
Yes.
and Commissioner Carney.
Yes.
Thank you.
9B.
Perfect. So here we go again. This is another request to issue request for proposals, CRA number 2025-07 for the disposition of 3 CRA-owned vacant lots located at 704 Southwest 4th Street for the development of affordable workforce housing. These lots have a little bit more to them. We purchased these in 2020. And they were all as one. So we had to do a work. It took about a year or so to do it. We bought these during COVID, so I think we just bought them, fenced it, and had it there for a while till we got around to actually doing the land use to split it. And we're successful in that effort. So we now have them. All 3 have their own PCNs. They're all split, and we are looking for the same thing, basically a request or a motion for us to put these out for workforce affordable housing.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Chair Burns,
Yes.
Vice Chair Markert,
Yes.
Deputy Vice Chair Casal,
Yes.
Commissioner Carney,
Affirmative.
and Commissioner Long.
All right, so 4 more lots out for affordable housing.
Very good.
Yay.
Excellent. Okay, next item is 9C, CRA Executive Director Annual Review. Gina?
Hi, yes, so we're here to do the CRA Executive Director Annual Review, and per the Executive Director's agreement, the board shall engage in an annual performance evaluation of the CRA Director on or about June 29th during the term of the agreement for the purpose of recommending any compensation and benefit adjustments for the ensuing year. At this time, per the Executive Director's agreement, the Executive Director's annual performance evaluation is being brought forth before the CRA board for discussion and direction. I do want to point out that all the overall evaluations for the Executive Director had an overall evaluation of above expectations. Right. And also in prior year, the compensation adjustments have been in a range of between 6 and 7%. So.
Okay. Who wants to start this discussion?
I'll start. We are struggling in the city, but we are a separate organization. And you know what? I do recognize how hard you work for the taxpayers and for us. You make our job so easy. I was coming in here today thinking 5 was the number, but I'm actually thinking 6 is a really appropriate number for you in light of all you do, how you represent us outside of the city. We're recognized all over the state for our accomplishments, and that's all because of you and the team you created, and I think you're deserving of 6% increase in pay.
Commissioner Margaret?
Yeah, I feel very much the same way. As you know, we talked when we went through it. I think you work really hard and you work really smart. I think those are amazing attributes to have. I think you've got this positive attitude that is great to have in the city, and you bring a lot of energy. You've hired great people. I think you're doing a great job. So hats off to you.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Well, I gave you a great rating. I think you do great work, having been on CRAs in the past, and see how this is a exemplary example. And you're now president of the whole state, for heaven's sakes. It's demonstrating your, have given you the sign of competence. So I mean, I support, the raise. I support everything you're doing here.
Thank you.
Yay.
And the same is for me. I think you're a tremendous asset to the city of Delray. We're lucky to have you, and I said as much as on my comments, and so I will agree with my colleagues. And I guess the 6% is the number. So
Yeah,
Thank you.
and it's retroactive, obviously, right?
Yes.
Do you need a motion on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you'd like the motion to be pay increase to the CRA executive directors 6% retroactive?
sounded like.
I second it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Markert,
Yes.
Deputy Vice Chair Casal,
Yes.
Commissioner Carney,
Yes.
Commissioner Long, and Chair Burns.
Couldn't think of
Yes.
another word.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, 10, item 10, the RAC, and 10A, Renee, you're on again.
Okay. The whole meeting.
Yet again.
We're almost finished. Okay. So this is an update on the Redevelopment Advisory Committee follow-up. So we had several meetings through fiscal year 2024 through 2025. We've been on September 4th, October 7th, December 12th, and March 20th. We tried to schedule another meeting, but we weren't able to because we didn't have quorum. The intent was to have 4 meetings. So we had 1 kickoff meeting and then 4 meetings through the year. We were trying to schedule an additional because someone couldn't make one of the meetings. We were trying to just have a makeup day. It didn't pan out. So we sent the reports to everyone. I believe they're on the agenda as backup. So as you recall, there was not necessarily one report from this group. It was each and every person giving their own input and feedback, which I think was great. You can see everyone's different thoughts. We didn't have to deal with everyone getting to one consensus. Everyone was able to express their own feelings, their own thoughts, and put those in reports to the commission. So I think that was a really great way to get feedback broadly without having that push-pull to get to one decision, because everyone has their own opinion. So we did issue we opened the application period again. So it was open from June 5th to August 4th, and we extended that deadline to September 15th. So the intent is to bring the applicants back to you all at the end of September, maybe October if we need to. But we had, pretty decent response. I think we had about 13 people. Some were not in the right sub areas or outside the CRA. So we have to just go through that, but we thought since we have extra time, we'll leave it open for a little bit longer to see if we can get more interest in. So that's just basically the update, and then just want to keep in your heads that we also have to discuss the committee assignments for next year. We haven't set that yet. As you recall, this past year was West Atlantic, really focused on what to be developed there, the drawings that we had for West Atlantic. So we just have to come up with something else. So start thinking, get your thinking caps on where we want to focus on next, and we're happy to have chats about that, but we're looking for some feedback.
Ms. Burns, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Are the individuals that are choosing to staying on?
So no,
Are we
only
reappointing? Because it's only been a year and they just got started. I would think can we extend the offer for them to stay on, or do we have to go through I guess if they want to and they've been appointed, It's just us procedurally, so it doesn't matter.
Well, so we said 1 year. So in
Yeah,
our
we
RAC
can't go
guidelines,
with
we
that
just said
crazy
1
rule.
year. So
Yeah.
we would have to change the guidelines if you want to open it up. I have heard from 2 members that they were interested in applying again.
Okay.
So you would just have to change the guidelines. So we can bring that back next month if you wanted to take another look at the guidelines and
I think
see.
we should.
Yeah, I mean, as a
we
new
can.
board, I mean, they were really getting acclimated to
Yeah.
what their role was, so to speak.
Right.
It's not like
Right.
you jump onto a planning and zoning or one of these others which have
Right.
established procedures and things. So
Right.
they're really kind of carving
Who's
out
new?
their own mission.
Right.
And I do think it takes some time to do that. So,
Yeah,
and they seem to be engaged
Mm-hmm.
very much so. So I think we ought to at least review
Definitely.
as to we all did 1 year because we weren't sure how it was going to work out.
Exactly. That
And
was
now
the
we
idea.
see that it is working out, and you seem to be satisfied with with all of it. So kind of
we
makes
can
some
do it.
sense to help them.
Yeah.
We should help them along and help them develop what that board's going to look like, and maybe
Right.
that's all.
I think when we initially wrote the guidelines, we had 2 1-year terms, and then you had to sit out for a couple years or something. But then when we initially started this, we weren't sure if we were going to continue on past the year, so we changed it to 1 year. So we can definitely bring back the guidelines, take a look, and go back to maybe that other language about the 2 1-year terms or something like that. And then the sitting off period, we had all of that listed in there, but we just kind of abandoned that for the 1 year. So
But as they
bring
mature
it
as a
back.
board, we'll be able to then
Yeah.
figure out how we want it to be. But
Absolutely.
they're just like infants. So they're-
Sure. Yeah, we'll bring it back.
Great.
Good with me.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Were you finished with that?
Yes, well, I'll just mention that we have a pre-application meeting on September 4th. Like I said, we had about 13 applicants so far, so we're inviting them to come if they have any questions. Otherwise, if anyone else is interested, we do have this meeting just for a Q&A. They can always call our office, obviously, but we just wanted to have a time for them to come in with us. We also have a social right after, so if you come in on the 4th at 4 o'clock, you can stay at 5 and learn a little bit more about a couple other projects that we have going on. But we do have an information meeting scheduled at September 4th at 4 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
That's it.
All right. So we're down to item 11, other business?
It's me again.
That was it?
Comments by the executive director.
I am surprised.
Welcome to the Renee Jackson Show. Okay.
Christine's on vacation. So
Sorry, Renee.
it's all me. Well, first, thank you all for the positive remarks and just comments. You guys have been so supportive. I do this to support you all and the community. I love what I do. I love the CRAs, and I love doing this and working at the Florida Redevelopment Association. That's been quite a year to be president with what happened in Tallahassee, but I mean, the passion that I have for it just carried me through. So I'm glad that you all see that and recognize that. So first I want to say thank you, and then I'll get into the updates, which will be quick again. So this was the Florida Housing Coalition Conference where Chair Burns was there representing the CRA, which is awesome. It was very well attended. We also had other Delray constituents. Evelyn was there. We have our other friends here as well that were there. So this is every year around August. Great conference. I heard really good feedback about it. And this is the other convention that I mentioned. So Christine and I were there making the rounds, passing out information about the opportunities on West Atlantic and Delray Beach. We probably passed out at least 100 flyer information about Delray Beach having opportunities in land on West Atlantic. So hopefully we'll get some traction and feedback from that effort as well. I just mentioned this is our next CRA social. We're going to be talking about the Set Transformation Plan, West Atlantic Master Plan update. We'll also be talking about Pompey Park. I'll bring up some updates on that next, but we'll talk about Pompey Park and our curb appeal program as well. And here is an outreach meeting. This is what we'll be sharing at our social. But Pompey Park is moving and grooving as well. So they have a supplier, vendor, subcontractor outreach meeting on September 10th at Pompey Park at 6 p.m. And then we issued a request for a restaurant to come into 102 Northwest 5th Avenue. This is the bay, as you recall, that we've been on 5th Avenue. We purchased this building about a year or two ago, started renovating. If you drive down 5th Avenue now, it's completely repainted. The roof is all finished. The color is the same as the existing. We didn't want to go through a paint change at this point in time. We were just trying to secure the building. So now we're looking for a restaurant, hopefully, to come into that bay because there is the capability to have that there. So we're excited about this. if anyone listening or you know anyone here, this is a great opportunity right on
Did you
Fifth
have a lot
Avenue.
of equipment too? There was like
No equipment.
No equipment?
No,
Okay.
they didn't have equipment. No, just the grease trap. I mean, they had those things that.
You mean the play machines?
that too.
There were other things that might have been in there, but not for restaurants. So there is a grease trap, or there's those capabilities there. So we're excited for the possibility and future of this space to have a restaurant in there. And mark your calendars. We sent this information out to you all, but the Florida Redevelopment Association Conference is in West Palm Beach this year, October 14th through the 17th. So if anyone's interested, hopefully y'all can make it. If you want to sign up and come one day or two, that's fine. Just let us know. But it is exciting that it's in West Palm Beach. It hasn't been down in South Florida, I believe, in probably, I think 10 years or 11 years was the last time. Just the cost of doing conferences here is a lot more than some of the other areas, but we were really pushing to have something down here. We have a good constituents and good population of CRAs in South Florida, so we really advocated and brought the conference down here. So if you'd like to attend, please let us know. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so next were those your comments by Executive Director?
That was it.
Okay.
I can go again if you want.
You got more? All right, comments by Board Attorney?
Nothing to add this evening.
Okay, and comments by commissioners? I'll start, Commissioner Casal?
None.
Okay.
Nothing further.
I would be remiss and not when I was reminded, because I did mention that DJ was here at the time, but so was Evelyn when we were doing acquiring these properties, and so I just wanted to acknowledge that you were there too as part of the team of buying it. So I'm not the chair. You need to.
Okay, so I see Max has his hand up, and so before I give mine, I forgot about this. So we received the request from Delray Concourse to have a discussion of canceling the Green Market. So.
That would be put on the agenda next meeting.
To have it
We would have to
put on
have it
the
as an
agenda.
action item. So
If there's consensus, that you guys would have to decide that if you want to.
So what is the pleasure?
Yes.
Yes?
I guess I don't. You know.
The only
I mean,
thing I would say, I like the event. The event is amazing, Max. It is. And I totally agree that you're bringing all those people in. I don't know that if you have that additional space, that necessarily equates to more people. The concern I have is that the people at the Green Market do rely on that space for their businesses. They're making money. So you're taking people who are making money and you're displacing them for the day. And that concerns me a little bit, frankly. And the second thing that concerns me is I know so many organizations that have events down there have asked for the same thing. They want that front space, and we've not offered it. So I fear the slippery slope of once you make the exception for one, how do you turn it down for everybody else? And that's one of my concerns. The event's amazing. The benefit it provides the city is not at all in doubt, and I very much appreciate you, but I don't know that I'm concerned about the ramifications of doing this. I would probably be less inclined to ask for a future discussion.
Mayor?
Well, I think at this point I think those are very good points, and I think I would like to address the economic impact on the Green Market. But what we're being asked to do is just put it on the agenda to discuss, correct? Not to necessarily
Yes.
approve. I mean, we
No.
still have the opportunity to say why we don't like it or why we do like it. So that'll give everyone the opportunity to make the presentations to us that what the economic impact would be, because I do know people that go to the Green Market. It's their one event that they do per week. They don't have shops; they have this,
Right.
and they go there, and that's their revenue source. So,
Yeah.
you know, I'd like to maybe there's a way to accommodate that revenue source as well. I don't know, but it's certainly worth the discussion. It's certainly a great event, and it does put us on the map as it relates to car shows. it's really more than a car show, as you say. And I've gone the last couple of years, and I leave there looking at my little Lexus 2016, and I'm saying, you just don't make it. You just don't make it. But one of these days, I'm going to win that 1928 Bugatti, and I'll enter it into your event. But I just think, I'm prepared to move it forward with the understanding that we're not agreeing tonight.
Right.
No, and CTAC hasn't reviewed. We have our CTAC. I don't think that CTAC has gone forward at this point yet as well. So they haven't reviewed it. Also, so there's some other things in play as well. So, but if you want to talk about it,
So I'm in agreement with having it on the agenda. I have some concerns as well. I mean, Max always does very nice events, and it's not against the event, but these people are not very wealthy people, and they depend on this market for their income, and they're already, if I understood, gonna miss the week before for the Delray
yes,
Affair.
Delray Affair, and
So
I think
that's-
it's Garlic Fest coming back
That'll
too.
be 2 weeks that they miss.
Yes.
So,
Back to
but
back.
I don't have an objection to having it on the agenda
Okay.
for discussion, but I do have some concerns.
Okay, so we'll bring it on September.
All right.
And maybe you'll be able to, in the interim, have some discussions with them to see what the economic, I would kind of like to know what the economic, because maybe it be quantified. Maybe there's something, a way to deal with it. So
We'll do some research.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
Okay.
problem.
All right, thank you. And then on to my comments are just that I did attend the conference. I enjoyed it. And as Ms. Dobson said, a lot of conversation around Delray tends to stay ahead in many areas, and we are ahead with our CLT model. However, we're kind of behind the 8 ball in terms of adaptive reuse. And we don't really have the space that Orlando has or whatever, but one of the biggest topics were the ADUs, and we are already in progress with that, but some of the other cities are really on top of the ADUs and implementing those in their cities. One of the leaders for is, what was it? St. Pete is a leader for sustainable solutions in their city. So I'm planning a trip to St. Pete because I want to see what it looks like. They have quads on single family, this takes policy change, and we can't be afraid of that, but they have quads on single family lots, and the facade, it looks like a single family home, but on it's a quad, and they look gorgeous, and their streetscape is really cool. So, but lots of things to learn, and we have a ways to go to catch up in some areas. Other than that, that's it. Is that all?